you be clap.
Probably, yeah. 3, 2, 1. Sorry. So, when you practice the open guard as opposed to closed guard, let's just simplify the terms. Either you are in closed guard, or open guard. Closed guard, you physically and mentally guard that center line. Open guard, you mentally guard that. Okay. To most traditional Wing Chun practitioners, they don't practice open guard. They only practice closed guard because they want that elbow down, that ramming power. Okay, they want to ram always this. They have a saying. It's called facing and chasing. You always face your opponent, and you chase the center line. Okay, so they want to do this. Okay, so if I'm right here, he's over here. I'm gonna be like this. I'm always facing my opponent, and I chase the center line only. I disregard everything else. Okay? That is one way, which is very proficient way. If your opponent is also using linear lines against you, right? For example, my body, for example, right? So we're here, right? So we're here, okay? And he throws a punch. See, I'm always facing him.
Correct.
Okay, he throws another punch. I'm facing him, but he's not facing me.
Okay.
From here, I can go in like this.
Correct.
He throws again, like this. And so this is what they mean by facing and chasing. Okay, that's what they do. They use the footwork so their body is always facing them. And with both arms same length.
Okay.
So this is to them is unacceptable because this one is somewhat out of commission. So they want their body square. Okay, so they can do these type of things.
Okay.
You know, and they really extend. So when they go in, they go like this. Use what they call horse, which is very appropriate because the upper body is the rider, the lower body is the horse. So for the upper body, the rider to go forward, he has to make the horse go forward.
Okay.
Because his lower body is attached to the horse, right? So you don't go. So you punch like this. If you overextend, then you're extending too much, and they will not do that. So they go. Always want that.
Okay.
Okay, very typical traditional striking is to use this. It's very hard to bend. Okay, if you see acrobats or not acrobats or gymnasts when they do a horizontal, right? Their feet are sideways this way.
Correct.
They will never use this to support the body. They turn the elbow in.
Yeah.
Now they can do these things. Well, because this elbow against the body to support. Same thing. If they do this, the body's behind that. You cannot collapse the arm. Okay, so this is one way. But if you don't think about the other way, which is circular or angular, then you're missing half of the picture. Okay?
Okay.
So they don't talk about that, and they don't. Even though in Wing Chun you have the horizontal punches in there, third form or the second form, even through double lansa, it applies. Well, all you have to do is close the fist, then you have a horizontal punch, as opposed to the vertical punch. That's all, okay? So, go ahead.
In your approach now, I guess, if you were confronted to have to engage,
Right.
if you could give it a percentage, like open, closed percentage, where might you be? Where might you find yourself?
From a defensive point of view, if you're in a self-defense, The closed version is better because it's faster.
So you'd be like 98%, 99% closed.
Right. Because you're not if you're fighting someone, then you have okay, that's different.
Yeah.
Fighting has strategy involved. You have strategy. You know, you're sizing each up. You're measuring the other guy.
I guess,
You know, distancing and all that. Okay, so you take into consideration. You probe. You know, you elicit the reaction. And you do all different things. You don't just do it one blow kill. Right?
Yeah.
So you use mechanical interrupt, you injure, you maim, so all of those things.
Yeah.
That involves strategy. Where self-defense, nothing's better than this, right?
True.
Because you're defending yourself, and you already map out your perimeter, which is that box.
Yeah.
Okay, box.
Yeah.
Now, interesting enough, in Bruce Lee's the Tao Jeet Kune Do, it mentioned the four corners. Okay? So I'm finding more and more people on YouTube who practice Wing Chun or teach Wing Chun are using the four corners. Right? Just out of curiosity, type in Wing Chun four corners. You will see a few hits. People are starting to see that. Okay? Because my teacher once said, coming from Hong Kong to the United States is a marriage made in heaven. You have the tradition of China in Hong Kong. You have the technology and the science in America. Art and science, yin and yang. When he came here, he started analyzing the scientific approach to dissect Wing Chun. From physiology standpoint, kinesiology, from psychological point of view. Fighting is about the mind and the body, right? Practicing anything is the mind and body. From soccer to running a bike, it's about mind and body coordinated, right? Because without a mind, the body is useless. You tell me what to do, the mind says, just do it. I don't know, you tell me, right? Okay, so you need that very delicate balance between the two, hence the yin and yang. Without introducing and embracing the philosophy and the principle of yin and yang, you start to miss out, okay? With this, as we saw yesterday, you have that yin and yang concept. If I can go down, come on. Right?
Yeah.
Pretty soon, you start to see the beauty of the form from a scientific point of view. And that is what my mission is to enhance the traditional forms, make it more viable for today's society. Because we're not going to be using swords against poles or long weapons anymore. We use our arms and legs, okay? So eventually the training in the pole form and the double sword form becomes more reality-based to further enhance the fluency of the body. Okay? All right, so go ahead.
So on a fight then, you'd be 70% open, 80% open?
What?
It's
basically, for example, if I'm right here, if someone throws a straight jab at me, right? See, that would not be as good because now we both got hit. Because I don't have the elbow to squeeze you in.
Right.
From here, I would do this,
Yeah.
block. I'm not blocking.
Attacking.
I'm actually attacking, right? It's a very important concept to have. The aggressive mindset. Okay? Right? Remember one of the videos that I posted is called The Way of the Intersecting Feet.
Yeah.
Okay? That's very meaningful because in Jeet Kune Do terms, the way of the intersecting fist is what I just demonstrated. But intercepting is a concept. If he can intercept his leg with your leg, then you can intercept his arm with your arm. And this is even more beyond the box, outside the box. Is now you can intercept his leg with your hand, intercept his hand with your leg. Okay? For example, I'm right here, he throws a kick. See, that's called interception. Right now, please remember, and it's recorded, a limb for a limb, just like the Bible, an eye for an eye. Okay? That limbs are four. Your arms are limbs, your legs are limbs too.
Right.
So they are interchangeable, not only in applications, but also in concepts.
Okay.
Right? So now, I intercept his kick with my kick, or leg with my leg. Now he comes in, I can also intercept his punch with his arm with my arm. Okay? That's easy. The next one is, I'm going to intercept his punch with his arm with my leg. He comes in.
Okay.
See? That's intercepting.
Now I got it. Now,
Okay.
Yeah.
See how powerful the concept becomes? Excuse me. Once you understand and embrace yin and yang, you start to ask yourself these questions. Can I? See, you become very, very generous with yourself. You start helping yourself. Can I do this? Can I do that? You just ask these questions. And the answer should always be, why not?
All right. Just find it.
Right. There's nothing you cannot do. As long as they serve you, as long as they stick to the principle of a simple, efficient, and direct.
Correct.
What's more efficient than a limb for a limb? He throws a limb, I throw a limb. Okay, so you see a limb
Two
for
limbs for one.
right, yeah, exactly. He throws one limb, I throw two at the same time. Okay, so the limb for a limb becomes very powerful now. This concept. Not just transition between your own limbs, but also
Distancing.
using your limb for his limb. See? A limb for a limb.
Correct.
His limb, my limb. His limb, my limb. Right? So you see how deep this concept becomes?
Yeah.
Not just your limbs transition back and forth. Anything I can do with my hand, I can do with my leg. Right? So that's a limb for a limb from a subjective point of view. Then you say, his limb, my limb, from an objective point of view.
Correct.
That's how powerful the invention will become. Right? So you can do one limb against one limb, two limbs against one limb. Right? So he throws a hook. Right? Two limbs against one. Right? And then he throws it straight. Two limbs against one.
Yep.
Okay?
True.
And this concept is not something I create. I cannot create anything. As much as I like to take credit, I can't. Because it's all in the forms. Okay? First of all. The forms came from what? The forms derive the movements from human movements. That's how can I take credit for human movements? I cannot create human movements because they already exist. Right?
Yep.
So you see, move like this, move like this. This is all the nuns' way of harvesting the existing human movements and use them in such a most efficient way. Well, I have to use one leg to support my body, but the other three limbs are available. Why don't you use them? That's what she was trying to tell us. A lot of these things may look silly. This will never reach. That's not the point. The point is, if you have three limbs available, find a way to use them. If you only have two limbs, use two. If you can only have one available at that moment, use one. So these things don't become techniques anymore. Right?
There's a lot of variables where that could be reachable.
That's exactly why being in America from Hong Kong, from Taiwan, myself, opens a whole new world for me. The very words, and the beauty is that curving line in the middle. That gray area, it can be anything. Okay? So nothing is black and white, clear now. Right? You either more shades to gray or more black, more shades to black.
It seems like the more I know, the more gray there is.
Absolutely.
Is that right?
Yes. This is very black and white.
Yeah.
Defend, attack. It's very clear and very easy. It's very easy to learn. Someone tells you, memorize these movements, therefore attacking only. Memorize these movements, therefore defending only. Very easy. So you don't have this internal dialogue between you and yourself. Say, is that attack? Is that defend? But can you use that to defend? From the day on, they say, don't use this to attack. These are for defensive only. Don't use these to defend. These are attacking only. Remember your training. No one ever gives you that ambiguity. You don't want to say, oh, you know what, by the way, don't confuse me. But tell me, it is defensive or offensive. Depends on your mind. Remember, intentions drives actions. Right? The mind's not.
Notes, you used to say energies, directions, lines, targets.
Right. Your mind decides where it goes for what purpose. Right? Your mind's not defending. Oh, I can do side, I can do forward, I can do down, do up and down. Right? Defensive. You can go up, come down, go to either side. Right? So your mind has to decide ultimately. Okay. So what I'm getting at is, if we're familiar with the closed guard, we should see open guard. Nothing changed. The only thing that changed is the center line is now exposed. Before, you want to seal the direct access to your body, forcing him to go around you. Okay, so when we do open or closed guard, we know there's a reason. For some masters, and I was listening to this guy, and he's a very good fighter, very practical fighter. But he says, don't ever open your center, because now the guy can come in. So they can come in. You see, no matter how great a person's status is, you always question statements of absolute. Okay?
They're usually always false.
Well, because that's one way of thinking. You only say, no matter what, don't do this. That's my teacher calls statement absolute. It's only this way, no other way. If it says, don't ever do this in this situation, then it's valid. Correct. But because every situation is different. Yeah. If you say, don't do this under any circumstances, then wait, I'm taller, I'm shorter, I'm stronger, I'm weaker. So how can you use one size fits all? Correct. You can't, right? So let's just say you have a round peg, right? The kids, they have different sizes. They try to match the pegs. They don't agree to do that. Nowadays, people don't do that. These kids are
the noisy ones, really colorful.
Right. Those are But now they probably do it online. Computer game.
Yeah.
Try to match.
It's on the iPad.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta match these little things.
Right.
Yeah.
But in the old days, they don't have computers, so they actually had a wooden color pegs. Okay, so the kids learn to recognize shapes. Okay, that's a square peg. I gotta find a square, and it's a square hole, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if one size fits all means that square peg needs to fit every shape. You can't do that.
Correct.
Right? So when someone makes statements like that, say, don't ever do that under any circumstances, then he's making statements of absolute. Okay. It's only Jim Ma would do that. No one else would use that particular phrase, statements of absolute.
Yeah.
Absolute this way under any circumstances. Okay? Okay, so when you do a closed guard, basically psychologically, you're telling the other guy, go around me. If you want a piece of me, you gotta go around me. Right? That's why these things are so effective, right? Because all I'm doing is that I have a box, I predetermined. All I'm doing is say, anything that comes in the box, I already decided there are 4 boxes in equal size. And just say, okay, I can use the same side to defend same side or cross over to the other side, right? Left, right, or left to the right, right to the left. Okay? So you can yin and yang. If you do same side, that's one way. Then you switch to the other side, it'll be yang. Okay? So let's say this is yin. Very reserved, very closed. That's called closed. And then yang, you opened up. Okay?
Now,
go ahead.
Are you just, when you open that up, are you just opening up your elbows or,
Right. That's the part I'm getting to right now. You're doing exactly the same thing. Okay? Your 无少 still 无少. Your 无少 still 无少. Okay? Your 无少 is the left side. Okay? Left side. So the 无少, all you're doing is like turn your 无少 into there. Make sure you see a triangle. That's not a triangle. Then you have to see this is the tip of the pyramid. Right? And you don't want this too wide. You don't want the angle too big or too small.
correct?
Too small, you are literally touching your body. Doesn't help you because if you're this close, you got this, what happens? You bang your arm into your own body.
Might be expanded somewhere.
Right, you want to expand. Okay? And because we always follow the principles of yin and yang, which says don't go to either extreme when you're neutral. When you're neutral, you're not expanding or contracting. You're in the middle. Right? You want to go there? Here.
She wants to get
They have a wisdom.
Tuesday, I watched the video.
Yeah.
I was bummed because you were somewhere off screen.
Yeah, I know.
And you're like, this, you gotta do it like this, and I'm like,
So I
ah.
can't see it. Yeah. So,
an angle, you think?
yeah, I have to figure out a way. Okay, anyway. So basically, the mansa, which is in the front, right? In the front. You raise this, the angle has changed. Yeah.
Oh, that
Okay.
was just doing it?
Right. We get a chop.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Right. When you that's from the water.
But look at that leaf, it's in the air, just floating. Look, there's a
Yeah,
leaf.
it's behind the ball.
It's spider web. I figured that.
Okay, so for example, right, when you do this, you're basically like this, right? Your arms are stacked, see it? Stacked
Correct.
on this. So from the top, you see the center line. When you open it up, it becomes like this. Okay?
Okay.
Over here, right? There, it's a triangle. Yeah, you just lightly clench. From open to close. Just like that. Right? And your rear hand, rear hand is wusao. Okay? Just raise the same thing. You see this with a triangle? Just like that. From the side, okay? Right by your cheek. Right, well, it's because here, if someone attacks your head, you have to raise it.
Oh, okay.
Right? But it's right here, you don't have to do anything.
So they're both.
Yeah, they're the same height. They're the same height.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay, from the side you don't see like this, or like this. But the same height.
Same height.
Right. Because you can easily go from closed guard to open guard. Okay? You need to see that they're the same height, like that. Just to the elbow out. So when you do this, you are inviting him, you are exposing your center line on purpose.
Mhm.
You want them to come in this way. Exactly. Okay? So for people to make a statement like that, don't ever expose your center line. You're not exposing your center line.
She doesn't love that.
You are causing the center line. Again, it's the principle of yin and yang. The mind or the body, I'm physically guarding it with my physical. I'm mentally guarding it. Nonetheless, it is guarded. After practicing this for a while, you know the line already.
Correct.
You don't need to guard it physically. You invite them because now I'm in front of you, right? And you're slightly open like that. Oh, see, that's a straight shot right there. Psychologically, I see this opening.
Mhm.
This is not practical because there, see? If I throw a hook, it's already there. You don't have to do anything.
Mhm.
That's the psychology of fighting. When you put up your guard, you are telling him to go around me, both inside. Use circular or use linear. So when you do this, come in. The water is just fine. Okay? So when they go like this is when you talk about.
Right.
Okay? So from here, you see, yeah, it's very dangerous.
But somebody with any half-witted person anyway would think that they're gonna get punched. If somebody's already like ready like this, they're probably gonna get punched even if they come up this way. That's what I would think.
Yeah, I mean, but if he wants to attack you, he has to do something, right?
I had friends that in high school, you know, on the outside too.
Right.
That won a lot of fights. I saw other fights, people I didn't know, and they won fights by punching like they're swimming. Because they tuck their head and they just
Right,
throw this
right.
punch like this, and that one gets them going back, and they got
Right,
another one
exactly.
until they can get something where it looks more.
Right, yeah, and you still see that in MMA.
Yeah.
They just wheel like this, and they keep their head down, so they don't, the punches are landed on, here, rather than here. They just like haymaker, doesn't matter. They still do that,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Okay, not remember. Someone throws it like that, remember?
Yeah, that's
Range
easy
is
money.
Rangers. You have to think about the range. He's coming in with the longest weapon on his upper body. You intercept with your lower body.
Yep.
They also count on the person going back and trying
Absolutely.
to defend, however.
Absolutely. That is the psychology of fighting, intimidation.
Yeah.
You see the guy
That's what it
waving,
was.
waving his arm like that. He says, "Oh, if I get hit, it's gonna hurt."
Yeah.
But we say, "When I kick you, you're gonna hurt first."
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? Because unless he's like 7 feet tall, his arms are longer than my legs. Yes, he's gonna get me. Then I just run. I can't win. My longest weapon is shorter than his shortest weapon. Okay, I know how to do that, right? So I just run, let him chase me. Since I'm shorter and lighter, it's fast for me to do sprints. Right? He's a big, longer giant. Generation. Don't run away. Right? He can't get you, right? So,
Break his knees. Bring him down the side.
right. But not if you throw the punch, you still can't reach him with your leg, then you're at a disadvantage,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Now we're practicing the punch like this.
right,
so you're full.
exactly. So that would be kind of a familiar territory for you guys.
Yeah.
You guys, okay, right. The
Except
biggest
you have to
difference,
remember to let the elbow.
the biggest difference,
That was hard for me.
the biggest difference, you don't turn the hand too soon.
Okay.
Yes, you see, when I saw you throw a punch, I blame your instructor. Because he's not seeing it.
Yeah,
Okay?
we did. Yeah.
Right. See, anybody can do combination together, but you have to learn how to use the tool first before you can step free.
Okay, so what is the
It's the same concept as this. Okay? Now you notice when you throw a vertical punch as opposed to horizontal punch,
correct.
you don't do this. Right? See? You don't do that. You do it just when your arm's about to extend fully.
Mm-hmm.
You use that extension to trigger tilt.
The tilt is here though.
Right.
So for here,
Same thing.
you're pointing this way?
No, here, this way, okay? So you're here, right? Okay. Same thing, I want to torque just before my arm fully extends. Right, rather than,
Correct.
right, you want to, just prior to doing that. Same thing as this. That is why the horizontal punching is so easy for us to learn, because we understand the principle. If we know how to do this, we know how to do this. One punch is not just for vertical punching. You can do horizontal punching and just as powerful. Right? Because you're still torquing. Boom. Right? Okay? Right. That's why it's so powerful. Your hand can be only an inch away. You can still make a lot of power. This is no different from this. Okay? So I'm going to get you all caught up. So we're going to do it together, okay? So right fighting stance, okay? Right. Okay, first, we'll go back to close guard. Okay, and then you're going to do open and close. Okay?
I got it open.
Over here.
How's that? Okay, you're on camera. This is public, everybody can see.
Dad.
Everybody can see you.
You hear me? Dad? You know better, right?
No, yes.
It'll be on the next trivia.
What?
It'll be on the next trivia
Oh,
contest.
yeah.
Correct. Well, just do the twist though.
Right.
The elbow comes
In
right.
here?
Well, there's
She's
a
inside.
twist and there's a twist like this, which is different. Yeah. Okay. That one, as you know, it came from Bonsai. Okay. Everything we're doing, even though people say that boxing punches came from human body, human movements. Okay. Right. So this way, we're simply turning into a square.
Correct.
You can do it. This, you can do it this way. You do this slanted. You do this, and you do this. That's all. Okay.
That's for like a.
Yes, that's what boxers call overhand. That's a air to surface missile.
Or it's like
They
what
never
Ted was
choose.
wondering.
Right. Yeah, that's the layman's way.
Yeah.
Well, boxes, do it similar but more economical, less swinging. Okay. Most people it's like this, right? Right. So it's the same thing as a looping hook. They're just not trained to do that, but instinctively they want to, do this type of things,
Yeah.
But boxer would do the same thing, it's more refined, okay? So we're going to do a standing still, but we're not punching first. First, we're going to go from right fighting stance, okay? We're going to go from closed guard and slowly raise both arms, right? And make sure you get really comfortable. Develop a relationship between the rib cage and the cheek. Your elbow is guarding the rib cage. Your hand is guarding the cheek. Okay? This is different from boxers. Boxers didn't do this. Very close. Okay? And that has a great disadvantage. You don't have the cushion of a boxing glove. So if you hear, I'm just going to hit you. Because now your hand hit my hand and my hand hit my cheek. Right?
Correct.
Right? So you don't want that. You want to have a comfortable buffer zone right here. Okay? And let the mirror guide you. You want to make sure your arms form a triangle, a vertical triangle, as opposed to a horizontal triangle. When you do this, it's a horizontal triangle, right? See? When you do this, you see a vertical triangle, but tilted. So you don't want to do this. You want to somewhat tilt it. See, tilt it rather than this way. So it's pointing forward.
Okay.
Yeah, forward. But you don't want to aim like this. You're really telegraphing your intention, right? All you're doing is just thinking. Okay? The hands are just have to be aiming at the target that your mind is guiding. Okay? So from here, we're going to go back and forth. So from here, go back to training. Okay? And 2. Fighting. And 3, training. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Walk forward. Left side forward, okay, right there. Same thing. 1, 2. Make sure your arms are relaxed. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Expose that center line. 8, 9, 10. Very good. Okay? Walk forward. All right, next one, we're going to actually punch into the front hand. So from here, we'll go to the open guard. Okay, from here, without retracting your arm or your hand, you need to go from there to turn the last minute. Just before your arm become fully extended. Okay? Gonna repeat the front arm. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Good. 4. Stick it. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Okay. Walk forward. All right. Same thing, same drill with the front hand. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. From where you are, I'm going to work on the rear hand. Okay. 1. This is the tricky part. Okay. Now remember when you were doing close style, right? 鼓扫, 鼓扫, 慢扫, 慢扫.
Okay, so this one.
Absolutely, they switch. So if you're punching with the rear hand, your front hand goes back to 鼓扫. Same thing. You're punching with the rear hand, 鼓扫, 鼓扫, right?
Okay.
So right here, and you go boom. See, 鼓扫. So these guys switch places. 鼓扫 becomes 慢扫, 慢扫 becomes 鼓扫. So this drill, like this, is like this. Right? See? In fact, that's a very good drill because now you understand the mechanics now. And because you're not doing it fast and furious, you can really pay attention to that returning hand. It's always guarding. Okay? So because when you stand like this, no one knows what you do. The only thing is, wait, their stance is a little different. Other than 50-50. But they're not Jeet Kune Do, because Jeet Kune Do does this. It's strong side forward. They have a raised heel. Okay? Because they want that propulsion. Okay? Yeah, that's spring loaded.
Yeah.
Okay? So the biggest advantage you have is not showing what you know. So you're not a Wen Chen Dai. It's not a Wen Chen Dai. Because you stand like this. The only difference is, okay, maybe he just doesn't know what to do, you know? Why does he stand like he's not a boxer? Boxer doesn't stand, you know. Good, that he's confused. He doesn't know what you are, right? All right.
I don't want to fight.
Exactly. No, you're really doing the same thing, okay? See, that's the beauty of concepts. When you reach your hands like this, basically you're saying, 无少满少. 无少满少. Whoa, right? Okay? That's a concept rather than, this is what you do when you're in self-defense. Everything's the same. Whether you're fighting or self-defending, you're still using the same concepts. Okay? All right. In fact, this is less threatening. Okay? it's like almost like surrendering. Oh, no, I don't fight you, but you really get into the, backwards, right? So you're here, oh, no, or like this, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really get into the stance already, okay?
Ready to-
Exactly. So now you're not threatening, but if he still wants to press the issue, he's going to be surprised. Okay. So we must see from the close relationship how they're connected between the closed guard and the open guard. Mansao is Mansao. Wusao is Wusao. We still call it as such. Wusao Mansao. Wusao Mansao. Okay? All right, so now your left side forward, now you're going to make sure you see the front hand comes back. The tendency is to go like this. Now you're open. Right, because if I'm right here and you come in and throw a rear hand, okay? You come in and throw a rear hand. The guy does this. Oh, see, if you're here, but if you're there, connect. You have. You don't assume that the guy doesn't know about fork. Just like people always say, in a boxing ring, protect yourself at all times. Right? You don't assume the guy doesn't know anything. Right? So you just like this. You don't say, I'm just punch you with this hand. There's no guard. Right? Right? So when you do the rear hand, you want to make sure the front hand comes back. This is relaxed. This is tense. Or they're both tense. The tendencies go both. Not wrong if you're defending. True. Right. So right here, he throws a rear hook. Of course, I'm going to be doing this. Tense. Yes. So just guarding is relaxed. Okay.
Very good.
Left side forward. Good. Okay. So left side forward. Striking with the rear hand. Okay. 1. You can gradually pick up speed and power as you get more familiar. 2, 3, 4. Okay, next concept you want to interject into your movements is coming back, the pointing. See, the muscle pointing, right? Guard, point, guard, point, guard, point, just like guard, point, guard, point, okay? Same concept, right? So your mind's guiding, your hand is not just coming, pointing that position for no reason. You have to give it a reason. I'm guarding, then I'm going, so I can strike again. Remember the pointing hand, can't strike again. Continue, okay? I'll pick it up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. And walk back. Rear hand. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. And walk forward. Good. All right. Next one, you're going to do double. Okay? From where you are, you're going to go from the left side, front hand, rear hand, point. Front hand, rear hand, point. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Walk back. Okay, same thing, front hand first. 1, 2, 1, 2, point, 3, 1, 2, point, 4, 1, 2, point, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Walk back. Very good. Okay, so next one I'm going to do, we're going to dart. We're going to dart with the front hand. Okay, left side forward. Same thing, the body unit, which means when your foot arrives, your hand should arrive. So you don't want to do this. 1, 2. There's a lag time, there's a gap, okay? So our job is to make sure we present as little gaps as we can. And there will be gaps, okay? Whether they see it or not, see them or not, that's another matter. Whatever you do, there will be gaps, okay? Our job is to minimize the gaps as we present ourselves, okay? So you want to go 1, 2, 1, 2. So 1, attack, point, 1, 2. See, this is upper body and lower body coordination. Okay? So, extending is with the front foot. Retracting is with the rear foot. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, same thing. 1, 2, 1, 2. So, strike, point, strike, point, strike, point. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, retreat, 1, 2, 3, 4, walk forward. Same thing, strike, point, 1, 2, 3, 4, retreat, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, right? Stay where you are. Now you're going to repeat the rear hand. Rear hand. Now, just think about a year ago, maybe more than a year ago. Okay, when you do the open guard as opposed to the closed guard, you have to see where it came from, which is from closed guard. Okay, so when you do, you need to see this. Okay? You have to be able to do that, okay? Right? It's very important. Now it's documented. So you can't say, oh, I don't know where it came from. You have to know open guard came from the closed guard. They go back and forth. So if we have to define it, that the closed guard will be the root or the baseline where you compare everything to. Okay? So this will be this. This will be this. Okay? Rear hand, rear hand, rear hand, rear hand. Okay? So you have to see that, okay? Okay, rear hand. Repeat. 1. Front foot, rear hand. 2. 3. 4. Retreat. Rear foot, rear hand. 1. 2. 3. 4. Walk back. Rear hand, front foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. And retreat. Rear hand, front, rear foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Walk forward. Excellent. Now that we finished doing repeating, now it's time to do switch. Okay, so you're going to start with the front hand. Right, left, right, left. Okay? Again, it's coordinated with your feet. So now the gaps are filled. Before, when you do right side, okay? 1, 2, there's a gap. Because that 2, he can attack you. Because you're not attacking at that point. Because remember, we're about rhythm, right? So 1, boom. When I do 2, he can attack me. So how do I prevent him from attacking me? Is by attacking him. make him on the receiving end, put him always in the defensive mode. Keep him breathless. Okay? So, 1, 2, right? 1, 2. When you bring this hand back, you may as well throw the other out because it's not doing anything anyway. Right? Before it's 1 and 2. Now it's 1 and 2. Right? You see? You bring this hand, but this guy is not doing anything, make him work. Okay? So front hand, front foot. Rear hand, rear foot. Front hand, front foot, rear hand, rear foot. 1, 2. Go back. Same way except the opposite. Rear hand, front foot. 1, front hand, rear foot. 1, rear hand, front foot. 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Just like 1, 2 or 1, 2. Okay? All right. So front hand first. Switching. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And walk back. Same drill. Front hand first, switching. 1, 2, 3. Jose, you're still doing.
Okay.
Yeah, your front hand is like you already turned.
Oh, this is,
yes.
okay.
You're subconsciously, I blame the teacher again. He should call you out and say, don't do that. You have, otherwise, you're only doing this. It's powerful, but not as powerful as this. You don't have, it's a push. You don't have an explosion. You want to feel that explosion at the end, like a whip. Like a whip, rather than push, like a. Okay. The difference between a battering ram and a whip.
Gotcha.
The whip looks limp. It can break bones. That's how powerful. Typical. Same thing. Anybody that hit with a wet towel knows how much that hurts. But it's not a very substantial object. Boom! Wow! Jesus, that's like hurt better than getting hit by a hammer. Okay, it's just that powerful. So you want to, boom, right? So by rotating or torquing with your wrist, that is adding jing. Jing is a Chinese term for short power. Short power. Jing. Okay, J-I-N-G. Jing. So you want to develop that at the last minute. And the best way to do it is to move your arm slow and speed up just before you reach full extension like this. Slow, fast, slow, fast. So you're gonna go like, see, boom. Okay, just like this. Yeah. Slow, 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 fast. Slow, slow, fast. So you're always developing that jing, even from the horizontal punch. Yeah. Okay. So pay attention to that. Okay. Continue. 3. You're still turning too fast.
Okay.
4. You still turn too soon.
Okay.
Do what I just mentioned. Just reach. Yeah, and then feel the turn and the clinch at the same time.
Okay.
5. Bamboo. Okay. Retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Walk back. Yeah. Hold hands. I still see that the preparation thing. Because I noticed when the hand leaves the position, it already turns. It needs to be like from the front view. It needs like this. See, it's slanted like see. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Rather than because the way you've been training and practicing, you're used to this, but no one mentioned that to you. So you thought you were doing it correctly. Well, it's not incorrect. It's just not as powerful.
Okay.
That's all. Okay. Everything you can do is right, but we want to do it the most efficient way and get the most benefits.
Optimize.
Right. You know, say optimize exactly. If I'm throwing my hand out, I just want to make it the most optimal effect. Right. Yes. Yes, just do it that way. Right. Okay, when you're having trouble, just slow it down and step back. A lot of people tend to have this mentality. Wait, I practiced Wing Chun for 10 years now. Now you want me to go back? I'll tell you what I
It's a gift.
It's a gift, exactly. This is what when I went to Jim Lau for lessons. This is after training with other people, other teachers for a while now. Okay, and then he saw, okay, I need to start it from the beginning. I was grateful.
At the time?
I knew. Oh yeah, because I
Yeah.
knew full of holes. Foundations are full of holes. okay?
Yeah.
So my job is to shore up your foundation, okay? So sometimes it's good just to go back to the basics because advanced quote-unquote techniques are based on basics. Without the basics, you cannot be advanced. And on the other hand, advanced movements, if you will, are basically more sophisticated application of the basic movements. I read the same movements.
Yeah. It's, I mean, after yesterday, I can't, I'm doing things differently now, like even the dummy form just in the heel strikes, but now I'm like, wait, why don't I utilize it?
Exactly.
And actually even add a little
Right, yeah,
rotation.
exactly. Everything can be done that way. Once you
Yeah.
introduce, that's the beauty. Once you introduce a concept, then you don't look at the same things the same way anymore. Oh,
There's an opportunity.
I can add a dimension to that.
Yeah.
It's still the same sequence, but with a little twist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all. Okay, very good. So you guys get some water. I know I tend to be winded. Well, Russia gave asylum to
Snowden?
that would go really well with the Russia, China, and U.S. relations.
I just watched a show with, Morgan Freeman, Through the Wormhole. You ever seen
Oh,
that?
yeah.
They're pretty good. But the last one was, I don't know the title. Do we have our own will or something? You know, like your own will.
Free will.
Free will.
Yeah,
Free will.
Free will. Yeah.
And there was a guy, he was some kind of scientist at a college, and he believes he can predict wars based on these methods that he had figured out for individuals as far as like, you know, because there's a whole bunch of science behind, like, you know, they're just showing people catching a frisbee and a dog catching a frisbee that had a GoPro on them, and everything's the same for everybody. The dog, professional athletes, they all take the same course of catching this frisbee, and so he says there's all these trends, you know, and they said they can trend cultures and societies and war. So that's what he's doing, and on the computer you see like Al Qaeda, and then there's all these lines like Bin Laden and all these other Hamas and all these. It was kind of weird but interesting.
But it's very true because if you look at the history of mankind, we keep repeating the same thing.
Empires and they fall apart.
Yeah, rise and fall. Okay, well, China, the height, and then now it's again America. Same thing. Everybody's doing that. Okay, so it's you can predict that. And it's kind of hard to say. It's kind of cruel to say, but wars do serve a purpose. Population reduction. Okay, we're getting healthier. Medical advances, medicine, science. We live longer. Okay, there's only so much land, so much food. Okay, so I hate to say that, but it's kind of inhuman to say, oh yeah, we need this. Okay, hopefully it won't happen. And
men.
so anyway.
They'll find a way to kill people. If it's not war, it's
Exactly,
another way
exactly.
to maintain them.
So,
Isn't there around the world that says somebody dies every second or something like that?
I think I heard that somewhere.
And then at the same time, every second another baby's born too, so it's kind of,
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
it's crazy.
Questions? Make sense so far? Makes, yeah. So my advice is, my suggestion is to just take some time to really see the connection between this. Same thing, again, see my arm is bent, right? And I don't want to turn my wrist until it's almost fully extended. Yes, that will be your 1-inch punch, right?
Just getting used to it, yeah.
Right, because you're really accelerating at the last minute, so this process is really useless, because it doesn't serve you anything, right? See, this doesn't create any power at all, until, when you straighten it out, it's pure wrist. Pure wrist.
Yep.
Now, if you add the shoulder, now the abdominal effect. Remember, more joints you use, the more power you get. The slower it becomes. It needs to go click, 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 click.
Correct.
If you just use one joint, that's so fast.
Yeah.
One joint is faster than two. Two is faster than three, and so on and so on. Okay. So this Jing it will help you tremendously when you're really in a jam, literally in a jam, distance-wise. When you don't have a lot of room to maneuver, someone's hugging you, bear hugging you, or grappling you, taking you to the ground. You don't have a lot of room. He's right here, and trying to pin you down. You don't need. Trust me, everybody when they get on the ground, they panic because now they lost their freedom. They lost that range. They're so used to punching this way. And all of a sudden, that space is reduced to nothing. Now they're like just covering up. We say, great, now I know how to fight, you don't. They still need to do this. Trust me, when they're on you, they don't do punch like this. They go, every single one. And then you say, oh, what was coming? You panic. But not knowing that this takes time. No matter how fast it is, still go up and down. You're just going forward. That's one. You can't hit the face. You can't hit the chest. Fair game. Right here. Try hit him in the soapbox. Oh, as soon as it starts puking.
You can break
Okay.
the xiphoid process right there.
Right,
It doesn't
the
hurt
sternum.
a lot. Right, there's a little tail at the tip.
Yeah.
And then it's like a can opener. Every time they move, it cuts.
Right.
inside.
So you just use this to use this. Just boom. Right, and you get,
When they got blood,
ow,
they got
I mean, it hurts. You just press it. You just press
Yeah,
it.
it does.
The sternum,
Yeah.
Just gently. Then imagine if you just go like this.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's one observation.
Yeah.
It's a theory right now. I don't know if it's true, but I have a feeling. So, in the vertical punch, in the Wing Chun punch, immovable elbow, battering ram, it's
Right.
very powerful.
Very
right?
powerful.
One of the main reasons it's so powerful is because these two bones are side by side. Now, in a horizontal punch, there's two ways. There's clock or counterclockwise rotation,
Right.
right? And there's also rotate the other way.
Right.
Now, which is
uppercut.
an extra, yes.
Which is the uppercut.
So, in theory, if the battering ram theory and the bone alignment is correct, then that might also mean that punching this way, because the bones are still going to be they're going to be side by side as opposed to crossing
Mhm.
with this kind of punch. This might be even more powerful to use, or even a straight punch with the arm in this position.
Yes, the only disadvantage is from a physiological standpoint. You can easily hyperextend.
That would be the risk factor. Right?
That's why uppercut is always done bent arm
Okay.
rather than straight.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to hyperextend out, you break your own arm.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, good.
Right. But like everything else, you have this direction, right? Down will be a boxer called open hand, overhand. Okay, uppercut, see, down, and up. And you have side, side, and angular. Uppercut can be done this way or this way. So eventually, watch me. Front hand, uppercut, uppercut, hook. Directions,
Yeah.
right? This way, or this way, or this way, or this way. Okay? Yeah. Boom. Just downward, upward, sideways, sideways. Okay? Now you start moving the joints. Oh, boom, boom. Boom, right? Boom, boom, right? Yes. Okay, that's the power of concept. When you think about joints, all of a sudden, one punch becomes two, one attack becomes two attacks. Right? Forward, forward, sideways, sideways, upward, upward, downward, downward.
Yeah, right there.
Long range weapon, medium range weapon, short range weapon. Same thing, go up, go down, side.
Yeah.
Go boom. Right? Right, okay. So, yeah, absolutely. Uppercut, yeah. So a lot of uppercut, rather than uppercutting his chin, you direct that towards the elbow. Right. Exactly. Boom. Well, if you look deeper into the first form, it's already there. People just don't see. Most people don't see beyond this. To them, it's only about someone is doing this. You get out of that. Okay? That's one. Another one is thinking about using this to attack. So not only, so he's brought here and he's doing this. Like this. Yeah. So I'm down. Right? You get up, boom. That's one. Right? Now you can use up. Stevens does it all the time, remember that?
Sure.
Right? Okay? Or you can do it sideways. See? Sideways. Exactly. So you just you don't even need to use that. You just go like this. Bam.
Yeah,
Do a simple step. Meanwhile, your other hand can go boom, seeking jewelry, breaking stars. That's a term from Chinese martial arts. Seek treasure under the sea. You know? So go you know, and then you can go into
Plucking pearls
lot.
from oyster.
Exactly. You know, so when you start, that's why it's so important to know your body. How many joints do you have on the upper body? How many joints do you have on the lower body? How can you make them work? You think of one way. If I can use my hand to lock, can I use my elbow to lock? Can I use my shoulder to lock? Hand, elbow, shoulder. Right? Just remember, your joints are two-sided. Right? Inside your elbow, outside your elbow. Most people only know this as elbow. Inside is also elbow. Front of the knee, back of the knee, sides of the knee. So when you attack someone, you don't think of knee strike as this. This is also knee strike. This is also knee strike. This is also knee strike. The back of the leg is also knee strike.
I'm thinking.
Okay? So if I grab him, then pull forward, now I'm going to attack my back of my knee as opposed to the front of my knee or the back of my knee. In fact, it's a very good combination. Boom, boom.
Yep.
Right? Okay? So the knee attack, right? Using the knee to attack, I mean the elbow attack. Boom, right? This is also attacking with the elbow. Close line.
Yeah.
Okay?
You get choked, right?
Right, then you can grab into a choke.
Yep.
So the forms are very deep. When they show you this, it's not just you're not just doing the form. Thinking about, oh, hey, the guy's neck right here, squeeze. So you're squeezing the guy's neck this way. Right? Oh, good. In fact, the knee is a stick. I mean, the neck is a stick, right? The arms are sticks too, right? So if I can choke his neck, I can certainly choke his arm. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a stick.
Easy.
Just pretend this is the neck. Now you no, pretend that's the neck.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Snap.
So you don't have to go into those. Yes, you can, but you just have to squeeze from both sides of the neck. Do a line saw, double line saw. Right? Okay? See, that's looking at the forms from a deeper point of view. Okay? All right. Let's go back to. So take some time and work on that. Okay?
Yeah, have to.
We're gonna go back to visit the. I'm gonna skip because that's kind of too much for Jose. You start catching up.
Okay.
We're gonna do the empty hand. Okay. So go back to close guard, left side close guard. Okay. We're going to do empty hand, especially meaningful for you. Okay. Empty hand rather than closed fist. Remember before we did this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Now you're going to do open hand. We're going to repeat Hansao strike first. Okay. Remember, the body likes yin and yang feel. If your one palm is up, the other one is best used when it's down, when you're on the same level. But if you one is on the upper level, one on the bottom level, then they can be both. It works because again you have that contrast. Okay, so this is not wrong like this. Even though both palms are facing down, but because you're right, but because you're upper, the body feels right. Okay, so for now, and you will see that. Do this. Okay, so so you have that this and then both palms are facing down. Okay, right. Okay, so that's why it's especially meaningful when you're starting to learn the swords. Okay, so so from close guard, we want to go into Hansao. One is going back, one is going forward. You have that split concept, the split. The splitting was introduced in a striking form from a horizontal point of view. Now you do the split from a vertical point of view. Right. Okay, so you aim at your own neck, your own throat as you go. Okay? 1. Right. And make sure you do a fuxa rather than a fox up. Elbow down. Right. Because the elbow down, the beauty is we do elbow down. Now watch. If he throws a punch and I do this, see? That's a line saw, right? But he throws a punch and I do this. See how the elbow is able. Okay? The elbow is able to control your center line, his center line. Okay? Alright, let's repeat that. Okay? 1. So you feel this hand is going like this. Go back. Back. Okay? 2. Yes. 3. 4. Very good. Switch hands. Okay, so this is called complex stance. Simple stance is same side forward. Complex is opposite side forward. Okay, you can stand like this, you can also stand like this. Okay? In fact, one of my teachers his favorite stance is this. It messes you up.
Yeah.
Because hell of that. Right? You know? Okay, so now you're going to use the complex stance, which is right hand forward and left hand in the back. Okay, same thing. 1, and back. 2, 3, 4. Okay, and walk forward. All right. So this time you're going to move your left hand in the front. Very good. Complex. Yes. So you're defending with the front hand, hands up, hooks out straight, rear hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. And then back to simple stance. Front hand defense, hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And walk forward. So as you noticed before, either you're simple or you're complex, you're always using the front hand to defend, correct? Right? Front hand. My left hand in front, defending. My right hand in front, defending, right? So now you're doing the rear hand defense as opposed to front hand, okay? So from the left side, you're defending with your right hand. 1. Open hand. 2, 3, 4. Okay, switch hands. Very good. Same thing. Now you're in contact, you're running forward. You're still defending with the rear hand. 1. Come back to right side, forward. 2, 3, 4. Walk forward. Good. Okay, and switch to single stance. Good. Defending with the rear hand. Hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And walk forward. I'm sorry, walk back. You're out of frame, I think. Walk back. Good. Okay. From here, you're going to do switching. Starting with the front hand defense. Defending with the front hand, followed by defending with the rear hand. Okay? So front hand, you twist the body. Rear hand, you do pincer, side body. Twisting body, side body. Give you more reach. Okay? So basically you have main body, diagonal body, side body, twisting body. Twisting body is the opposite of diagonal. See the shoulder? It is, unless I can twist like a pretzel, it's very hard to get into a side body without compromising, okay? For some people, they're very limber. Yes, they can do that, okay? I'm not going to push. Right?
No, yeah.
You're going to just push the body just enough, because it's really unnecessary to get into the twisting side body. All right? Okay.
Set up for the bedroom.
Okay, so front hand defense first, hands up, okay? 1. Next is rear hand defense, 2. Front hand, 3, 4, 5, 6. And walk. You know what? Walk forward. Yes, good. Same drill, front hand first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Walk back. Very good. I'm going to move on to the next one. Okay. Next one. Go through the next 4 movements. You are going to do what you just did by yourself, right? The others. So we're not going to go through hypoxia that way. Okay. You're just going to introduce the rest, but you need to figure out how to do it by yourself. And then you have a question to ask me later, okay? Right now, I'm going to move on. So from a left fighting stance. The next one is a Pak-Sao. Pak-Sao, defending with the front hand. Okay? Right? So Pak-Sao, because this hand is either down or up, in between. Okay? You can do a Fuksao strike or jump-sao strike. Okay? Just to make it different, we'll do jump-sao strike. But this jump-sao is different now. This jump-sao is from the form, dummy form. You're not doing a circular movement. You're from here, you're doing this like this. So you need to angle the hand. Right? So from here, you're doing, rather than, okay? So Okay.
Kind of the opposite of.
Right, exactly. Okay, this will be this, right? This will be this way, okay? So you think about this, okay? So the hand, you catch the hand coming in, the arm coming in, and you direct it to the side. You open, you wedge into that, okay? So we repeat. 1, good. 2, 3, 4, very good. Now let's change like this. Good. Same drill. Right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And hop. Hop back. Alright. Alright, the next one, we're going to introduce your right hand forward, okay, is a lan sao. Lan sao is a back hand. Back hand. Okay? You've done that before, okay? If you remember, okay? So if we're right fighting stance, right? How many times we've done that? Okay? The reason we do this is because we don't want to accidentally injure our training partner. Right? This is humiliating. This is breaking something. This is killing him. Right? You want to just smack him, or you want to break his nose, or break his cheek, or break his jaw, or you want to cut. So you have a choice of smacking, or hammering, or breaking. Right? So it's up to you. Either way, okay? I eventually prefer open hand strikes because they're infinitely more versatile and deadlier, more destructive. Okay. So think about your right side forward. Okay. Here, you're doing the lan sao, and then you're doing twisting. Okay. Twist. Good. Just like this. Okay. See, it depends on your mind again. Okay. When I go from bang sao to tan sao, what am I thinking? Down, up. What about down, down? So it becomes like this. Like this. This is still tan sao, right? Do I go this way? Why do I go this way? That's all. Right? So think about that as tan sao, downward. That's the beauty of concepts. Here's a tan sao. I can go up, I can go down, I can go side. Oh, it's a tan sao. Whoa, that's a view sao. Back, sideways, up, down. Different focuses. You see the gray area we're talking about?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, oh, fingers.
Yeah.
How about the palm? How about the back of my hand? How about the other side? Jiang sao, tan sao, view sao. Right? It becomes so powerful. Even more control. Turn this way. Oh, that's in the form too.
That's injected.
That's right. So if you get, oh, you can do that.
Palm
You can do-
down.
Yeah, you can do that, you can do side. Okay, so right side forward, okay? Front hand defense, which is a lan sao, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And walk forward. Same drill, left side, front hand, twisting body. 1, 2, 3, 4. And switch. Okay? And this is a perfect time to introduce another concept. For years, you've been told when you switch, you come up. Okay? This time is different. And again, thanks to the big brother who whispered in my ear. You know, his story. Alright, so, okay, front hand defense. Boom. Okay, now when I go to set up again, my bottom hand comes up like this. Okay, just excuse me a second. But now I want you to think about the other side of the yin and yang. If my hand returning to the ready position can come up can it go underneath? So now it looks like this now. 1, 2. Okay? See, that when you do it slow, it becomes, you start to see things. Watch, okay? 1. Whoa. So it looks like this, okay? Okay. So right here, right? From here. He's doing the same thing, right? Okay? I'm using my front hand to do, right? Underneath. So it becomes this. Right? 1, 2. That is deadly. You learn how to, like this. So here's the arm, right? You go 1, 2. That's what you're doing. So while you're doing that, you're doing 1 and then 2. Okay? And you'll see that in the sword form too. Yeah. That's why the empty hand just, oh. Yeah. In the sword, you know, it's like this. Same thing. You know, it becomes, all right? So this is what I want you to do now. When you go back to your beginning guards, okay? 1, 2. 1, and see from underneath. 2. Right? Ready? From underneath. 1.
1.
Yes.
Okay.
And exaggerate a little bit, okay? 1, lines up, going in, lines up, going out before you turn into lines up. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Walk forward. Same drill. 1, underneath. 2, underneath. 3, underneath. 4. Good job. Good job, guys.
Reverse,
We used to